Deep in the shadows, I know it's hard to put one foot in front of the other.
Hi everyone, CeeChronicles here, back again with another fragrance review video. If you're new on this channel, I post fragrance related content and would appreciate it if you did decide to come on board by clicking the red subscribe button. Now, to those who are returning, thank you so much for the continued support. On this channel, I post mostly Middle Eastern fragrances, but I do have a second channel, CeeChronicles Unscripted, in case you are interested in fragrances that are not Middle Eastern. And on that channel, I also feature vlogs. Now, welcome to today's video, guys. I am doing a dedicated review for Ajayeb Portrait. This is a fragrance that we unboxed a couple of days ago. Let me just put it at a week, okay? It was meant for my March haul, but when my curiosity got to me, I just wanted to see to what extent this one was different from some of the mango offerings that Lattafa has given us, okay? So the packaging is going to be identical to that of Ajayeb Dubai. The only difference is this one is in white, right? And the bottle as well is identical to that. I love this bottle. I think there was creativity, a lot of work that went into the making of this bottle, guys. It just looks different. I'm gonna spray it on my skin, and by now I think you know, if I spray a fragrance on my skin, it means there is something there that the fragrance has communicated, you know, with me to like it that much to spray it on my skin. Now, this fragrance is listed as having citruses at the top, so do expect a burst of that orange and the lemon just at the opening there, and then immediately those citruses are going to be joined by a mango. Now, the mango in here is not a screaming mango, but it's going to be evident. By screaming mango, I'm saying it doesn't take the tooth mango direction, but you're going to have a wrap up of a mango, but this mango is carried at the same time by like a peach apricot-y accent, which is bouncing off osmanthus, and this is the mid, right, and jasmine. But do take note that that mango, osmanthus, you know, peach apricot kind of bounce stays from start to finish. So that part, in as much as this fragrance is not linear, that mid is gonna stay right through to the end. So it is one of those fragrances that, say you walked into a shop, you can almost immediately decide whether you like this fragrance or not, just based on that. Now, the base of this fragrance is going to be sandalwood, some amber oud, and musk. I must confess, guys, I think this is one of the most underrated Lattafas thus far. It took a while for me to get my hands on this fragrance, but when I eventually got my hands on this fragrance, I was like, oh my God, this is one of those offerings that they do not have yet, or they haven't given us. This is a unique DNA, at least to my nose. I've seen some people comparing it to Honor and Glory. I do not get wafts of Honor and Glory, except maybe if people are confusing, you know, that fruit punch for that pineapple thing that happens in Honor and Glory. What I can say, you know, just to redeem this fragrance is, if you do have Honor and Glory, it's definitely not redundant for you to own Ajayeb Portrait. Now, this fragrance, guys, is a well-refined blend of fruitiness there with a tropical accent to it, but it doesn't make it all tropical. It's got a lot of pages, right? It's gonna come across, you know, initially with that burst of fruitiness, making it feel very feminine to an extent that you're gonna say, oh, this is outright feminine. But there is a use of woods in here. There is a use of a gentle oud. I did mention it when I presented this fragrance in a cluster of fragrances that don't let the oud make you run away from this fragrance. It's not an oud, at least to my nose, the way sometimes Lattafa does their oud. This is a gentle oud that comes in a wrap-up of woods to an extent that some people might not even actually feel this oud. The use of those woods makes this fragrance translate different from skin to skin or mood specific. And by this, I mean, because of its numerous pages, remember I said it's not linear, except for the fact that it's going to hold on to this mango and osmanthus. It has a lot of pages in between there. It is the use of this oud and the word that come into the mix there, giving it somewhat of a masculine tone in some cases, okay? So it will open up feeling very feminine, and then at some some point you're going to feel, oh, is this taking a masculine direction? But it's safe enough not to cross over, intensely to either. So it's not going to outright affirm itself as a girly fragrance. No, is it going to affirm itself as a masculine fragrance? So this is right there, borderline genderless. This is unisex to the T, although that opening for some men might be a bit confusing there, because it's going to give that scream of those fruits and a sweetness there, though it has the use of the fruits and somewhat a shy tropical tone. Doesn't have that mainstream thingy that you get from Tous, right? So if you were also comparing it with Tous, because I remember I did present a video where I was hosting a lot of mango fragrances, and I was trying to give you the differences in what mango was doing what in what fragrance. And some of the prominent questions in that particular video were people wanting to know how different this one is from Tous, how different this one is from LEEN, whether it's redundant to own this if you have Tous. It's not. Tous takes a very creamy kind of mainstream direction. I get somewhat of a mature tone in this, and I think it is because of a tenacious, musky use of the jasmine flower. If it's not the jasmine, there is something here that weighs in as musky, and it is that musky powdery wrap up that is going to give this kind of like an incense-y feel, even mixing with those woods. It's going to mix into like an incense-y thing, and it's going to have that nostalgic kick where some people will find it pretty mature. Just the DNA in itself, based off my experience of using fragrances to a youngster, or somebody whose nose likes very fun young fragrances, may come across as a little bit vinty toned. That peach apricot accent that you get from the osmanthus will be mistaken by some as a pineapple, okay, because there is something here. It could be something that Lattafa did to make sure that there is like a mystery to this fragrance. It could be that there is an addition of pineapple, on its own, because there is some fruit here that speaks as well with that mango. So it could be that there is an inclusion of another fruit here that Lattafa decided not to give us there. The DNA in itself is also going to come across as a buttery wrap up of everything. So juicy mango, okay, floral, musky, jasmine, adding to a little bit of like a musky, powdery matureness to this fragrance, woods, and very faint oud, and then a buttery wrap up of everything, creamy wrap up, if you will. And that creamy, almost buttery wrap up is also going to make some people say, this probably has coconut, okay? So it is a complex mix. And I remember on my second channel, to those who are subscribed to my second channel, I went to a fragrance store, and I was, doing my rounds, just showing you the fragrance store where I buy some of my Western fragrances, and I was just, walking about. And I went on the House of Oud section, and this was way before I owned this fragrance. And when I went on the House of Oud section, I smelled the ones that they had, and there was one particular fragrance that screamed to me, Keep Glazed by the House of Oud. It smelled almost like this. And when I got Portrait, I was like, I wish I had known that Lattafa had been on the case already. Am I saying it's 100? No, but I am saying if you love that Keep Glazed type of DNA, this is definitely going to give it to you. I do get a lot of semblance of what I got from that Keep Glazed to an extent that guys, it's a complex fragrance. Don't let the mango thing make you have a mental shortcut that this is just going to be one of them. If anything, I wish they had released this one in the Lattafa Pride collection, the second edition, or in a niche Ameerati collection, because this is very different from some of the fragrances that they have offered us. I don't think Lattafa has given us something like this before. In terms of this one being different from LEEN, LEEN is very linear. It's like very soft presentation of a mango, and how it starts is how it ends. LEEN does not have pages. This has multiple pages. So it is the sort of fragrance that maybe, say for instance, you don't like it offset, you will find yourself drawn to it with time. Now, as for the cons, all I can say for now is it's not really projecting that much, okay? But it is promising as a concoction to maybe macerate into something better. It has gotten a little bit of some weight. It is just that projection that doesn't seem to be doing the most. It's not a skin scent, but I'm talking based on my experience. I enjoy this the more, and I wish, you know, it would project more. So if there's anything I wish for this fragrance is that it macerates to the thicker concoction that it is, because it is a rich concoction. It's just that I don't I'm failing to understand why it's so rich, but at the same time, after you spray it 30 minutes later or so, people around you do not feel it in its intensity as the wearer does. Maybe it plays a disappearing act, I don't know. So we're going to see when it comes to that. Lasting power for this for now is also around I'm going to say the 5-6 hour mark, but do take note that I did say that this is a new addition to my collection. I'm talking about everything based off just 1 week of usage. Okay, so do not dismiss this fragrance. This is a recommendation that I feel, if at all there's a Lattafa that you may want to add to your collection of their latest releases, it may have to be this one. Ajayeb portrait from the house of Lattafa. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. Let's meet in the comment section where we'll obviously discuss more about fragrances. Let me know your thoughts on this particular fragrance, guys, and also do turn on post notifications on both my channels while you're at it. That way you get to be notified anytime I upload a video. Meanwhile, like and share this one, and remember that smelling good is a form of good manners. Cheers.